Hey, how's everybody? It's Thursday afternoon. Happy 6th of May. I'm coming in for Slay May, day 6. And I wanted to share something a little bit more personal today. And this has been it took me a while to even go live on this today. I did do a post about this. I think it might have been yesterday or the day before. So you may have seen the post. Hi, whoever jumped on. So if you have, you may have a gist of where I'm going with this. But hi Liz, how you going? I wanted to come in and sort of talk about a little bit why I'm here, how I ended up here, and a little bit about how I'm finding myself again after, life after kids. I had somebody say that to me on the weekend, there is life after children. And that's a really valid point that us mums need to hear sometimes. Don't get me wrong, I love my kids. So I'm a mum. I have 2 beautiful boys. One turns 10 tomorrow, one is 7 next month. And that's all I ever wanted to do was be a mum. And while I worked before having kids and even after having kids, it was all about them, right? Setting myself up to have my children, setting myself up to, get married, buy the house, do all the things that we in our heads decide we need to do before we have kids. And it was all about the children. And then we got to the point where my kids, well, they weren't grown. They were 3 and 6. But we decided that was it. We weren't having any more children. So, I kind of woke up one morning just completely lost. I was like, now what? For as long as I can remember, I had this end goal in place and I got to this end goal. And yes, I still need to raise them. Don't get me wrong. It's not completely over, but it was it. I was like, well, now what? I'd gone back to work, yes, in a job that was a means to an end. We needed the income. So I was working in a role that I didn't love. Because it worked around my kids, around the family life. My husband's work was very unreliable with the hours he would come home. So it was very much reliant on me to do pickups, drop-offs, get the kids to school, cook the dinner, do the bath time, do the whole lot. So be the mum, right? And I love being the mum. But in doing that, I became very underwhelmed. I felt undervalued. It took a massive hit to my confidence, being in this job that was a massive pay cut. So it was something that I didn't have a huge amount of confidence in. While I did it well, I thought, it wasn't valued. The income wasn't the same. It hit so many things, my self-worth, my self-confidence. I'd had a child, my second one, that just didn't sleep. Especially for that first year and a half, all he did was wake every hour and a half. And I'm sure I'm saying this, and I'm sure there's a lot of mums out there just nodding like, yeah, I've been there, and I get it, and I got to a point that was so low. I'm going to go a little bit deep here. I got to a point that was so low that I couldn't even make simple decisions. What to eat for dinner, what to do for the day, what to wear. Like, it was really hard to even to trust my own judgment and things like that. So that was pretty bad. And I remember being at, visiting a dear friend of mine, and we were sitting down having a cuppa, and she just said to me, you're not the same person I met 7 years ago. You're not that bright, bubbly. Liz, I met you on Saturday, and I hope that's the person that came across to you, was this friendly, smiling, happy, enjoyable person who was fun to be around. At least that's how I thought I used to be. And I think I am getting back to. But there was a good portion there where I was just somber and down and wasn't myself. And she'd picked up on it, and she'd said it all with love, and I took it that way too. I totally understood, and I just went, you know what? It's because I'm lost. I don't know which direction I'm heading. I've got nothing to work towards, and I'm very goal orientated, in case you hadn't noticed. Very goal orientated. So I was just like, I was floating in the wind. Get up. It was like Groundhog Day. I do the same old thing day after day. No real drive, passion. I never really had this whole knew what I wanted to do when I grew up, apart from be a mum. And even up until recently, that's used to be a big saying of mine. I still don't know what I want to do when I get older. Due to more recent personal development, one of my things was focusing on what you put out there is what you get back. So I changed my wording a lot over the last year or two, and it became, I am open to every opportunity the universe wants to give me. I'm open and ready for every opportunity the universe is bringing my way. And that has been my mantra for the last 2 years. So as I've worked on myself, thanks to my dear friend, she started me on the path. She handed me a book that she'd read. That book, Mastering Your Mean Girl by Melissa Ambrosini, changed the trajectory for my life. Unfortunately, that particular friend is no longer with us. 6 months after this conversation, she passed away. And I think between her and her support of me over that time and then her passing really made me do an about face with where I was headed and what I was doing, and made me really work on me, because I didn't want to end up the same way she did. And in saying that, it was a very tough few years. Like, I feel like I have been through hell over the last couple of years, but I came out the other end, or I still feel like I'm coming out the other end. But in saying that, I have found this business along the way. I have found Senegence and what I'm doing here. And it's funny because I said to her 3 years ago, when she asked me what I wanted to do, that wasn't my work, what I really wanted to do with work. I just said to her, look, I don't know exactly what you'd call it, but I wanted to help people. I wanted to help support women on their journeys. I wanted to be more active because I sit at a desk all day at work on accounts. I didn't want to be sitting at a computer all day. I wanted to be more active, but, helping them. And I said, and as it went on, it sort of evolved to, working on how our physical health is joined with our mental health. But I still couldn't work out how that linked in together. And this has just been my thing. It's been playing in my head for probably 3 years now. I just kept putting that out there, that I wanted to go down this path. And we started to get to coaching, and I'm like, yeah, I could do life coaching or something along those lines. And it wasn't until starting Senegence popped up, and I didn't even go into this thinking that I was going to turn it into anything major. I went into it because I was a customer for 6 months, loved the products, was spruiking it to everybody like, oh my God, guys, this is amazing. I've never been able to wear lipstick and it's staying on. I love it. And was passing it all over to my distributor, passing on my friends like, guys, you got to get on this. It's awesome. And about 6 months later, the opportunity arose, and I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And I didn't go into it expecting it to turn into anything more than just, maybe a little bit of extra cash, but we'll go on from there. Hey, Danny, how you going? So I thought, well, okay, I'll give it a try. And it went from one to the other, month after month, and I went from strength to strength. And within 3 or 4 months, I'd had a team of 5 that came on board with me. And I realized, hey, I get to coach these ladies. I get to lead. I get to train. It actually started to open up some doors. And I started to think, this mantra that I'd been saying of I'm open and ready for any opportunity the universe wants to send my way was starting to appear for me, that I was going, okay, this could be something. Now, makeup for me was not something that I was wanting to get involved with. Like I had the one face. When I did my makeup, I had the one look. The one thing I could do was the natural eyes, the mascara, gloss or a lip balm, nothing. Like, it was very basic, but that was all I did. Now, I've been experimenting, getting a bit creative, and I'm loving it. But that was never the end game for me, and it still isn't. For me, it's the leadership, the training, the coaching of others that I get the sheer joy out of. And the fact that along with it came my confidence, my self-worth, my lights me up from inside. It just made it started opening doors for me. Like I know sitting at work one day at my paid job with accounts, I was sitting at work one day talking to my boss, and we were talking, I don't even know what we were talking about, but it came up and I'm like, put me on a stage, give me a microphone, a room full of people, and I'll be in my element. And I had to double take. I'm like, where has that come from? I've never done public speaking. That's never been something I wanted to do. So I left work, called my coach through Sterling Jensen. I'm like, okay, I've just said this. I think that's what I want to do. I think I want to go down that path. And she's like, awesome, let's make it happen. What sort of business can you go into that really sort of allows you to make it the way you want? She's like, straight away, she's like, right, well, we can get you in touch with the state training manager and maybe get you in to do some training and work you up to doing this and that. And tailored my path to me. Like, that just doesn't happen. I've never been in any sort of job in the past that I've ever seen any career beyond my role. I've sort of worked on things that, because I work in accounts and the business itself was, not accounting, I never really saw much beyond what I was doing that I could go, yeah, that's where I want to be. Whereas this one, I can actually see I've got a clear path of what I want to do. And it's actually achievable. Like, I remember the day I started and I signed up, and she said to me, this job is not for everybody, but everybody can do it. Give it 90 days and you'll know if it's right for you. And that stuck with me, and that's exactly what I did. I was like, okay, I'm here for 90 days. I gave it my all for 90 days, and I smashed it to the point where I'm like, bring it. I want to go all the way. It's something that anybody can do. And when you go from being so low where you can't even make a simple decision to now being at the point where I'm like, I'm setting career goals, I'm helping others jump through or push past their fears to be a better versions of themselves. And that is just, that's like, I can't even explain it. It makes me like, just lights me up, but it's so inspirational in itself. And that is why this business means so much to me. And I felt like I needed to come in here. Part of Slay May is all about learning, me exposing myself to you. That's really not appropriate conversation, is it? Me letting my walls down and getting to know me a little bit better. And I just wanted to sort of pass on that, while I've had my ups and downs over the last few years, I really finally feel like I am in exactly the right place where I need to be to get me to where I need to go. And I don't think I felt like that in a very long time. So it's because of you guys that I'm able to do that. It's because of you customers that are here to support me and that do purchase from me and things that are amazing, that keep me going. But also my beautiful team that let me coach them and want to be coached by me, that, help lift me up. And I just can't wait to do more of this, and honestly want to grow my team and work with so many of them. So anyway, that's it. That's where I was coming from. I did say, look, 90 days, that's what it'll take. $85 to join. You get $170 worth of business kit to start, and you start making profits straight away. And give it 90 days. And maybe you could end up the same as me. And looking at this going, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed. Who knows? Maybe it's not, maybe it is. But for me, if I didn't take that step back in October, I wouldn't be here now going, oh my God, I am a completely different person now to what I was 12 months ago, to what I was 2 years ago. And I like who I am now. I'm learning to love who I am now. And I think there's a long step of that. And yeah. Anyway, feel like I went very deep. We're very close now. And I hope that helps. Maybe some of you, maybe not. But yeah, reach out. I'm here to chat if anybody needs to. But this is a little bit about my journey, and I'll see you later.